Play Unplugged fans, it's Enrico Nardini here with another unboxing. Today's unboxing we're going to look at two sets of things. The first one is I've been really excited and interested in the KRE-O Dungeons & Dragons sets. And so I have a Dizzt Do'Urden, the iconic character from the Forgotten Realms, the Dark Elf turned hero, dual scimitar wielding. So we'll take a look at him. And I also have two blind bags, army builder packs. So here we have the product, and looking here is Dizzt Do'Urden, looking a little bit smug in that picture, regardless of which, an iconic character, the dual scimitar wielding Dark Elf from the Forgotten Realms, famous for the Icewind Dale trilogy, and too many trilogies for me to list here. So first thing I'm going to do is pull them out. Now, all these ones, these Hero Pack ones, I also had purchased Lord Neverember, and so they have a card that's just there. So pull this off the back, and you can see it's pretty much your normal, pretty bog standard action figure-y type stuff. You get the figure, Drizzt. You also get a tree with like a target and a bow, because I guess why not? He did use a bow, so that's not totally out of place, but there you go. Bring the card up. You can see some of the other releases from Collection 1. There's 5 to collect. Wolfgar, Lord Neverember, Vancy, and the Eye of Grumsh, which I've been looking for the Eye of Grumsh, and I have not been able to find him. Regardless, I've got Drizzt here, so let's take a look. So you get this card. That's for the game, which is kind of a... Oops, shook the camera a little bit. Sorry about that. Which is kind of a... crossbows and catapults-esque game, and I really dig that. So there's a bunch of numbers here, and there's your KRE-O, pretty standard stuff. Card out of the way, and so we've got this is like a pull-out. This is going to be like the instructions for assembling. I'll save assembling the tree for later. I could do it and then fast-forward it. But for the sake of this video, and we've got some other characters, I'm just going to go right to the Creon Warriors, their version of the minifigs. But you can see there's like it's a neat little accessory. It's nice to have, but still not hardly the main event here. Here's the bag for it, even though it actually has more parts than the main event. So we'll take all this stuff out and take a look at it. Oops. There we go. Alright, so... one thing that's neat about the Creon Warriors versus, say, a minifig is there's a little extra bit of articulation in the legs. I don't really know if that's really super helpful in terms of posability, but it is neat. And you can see there's some nice designs for his like leather armor with it's got a little bit of it's like segmented here, which is cool. And one of the other things is these sets have been chock full of cool accessories. So all right, so here's our Drizzt body, and here's his head. And they've gone with gray skin, which even though dark elves in the D&D universe their skin is more like pitch, but I think for the purposes of making this work as a figure, going with a dark gray was probably the better move. Now, the thing is, to get this cool cloak on, whoops, I took his whole body apart. I didn't intend to do that, but that's all right. I'm going to pop his arms off, too. And this should go right over top of... doesn't look like it matters which side you put it on. Whoop, jeez. Hold on, I'm going to put it on off camera and put it back under once I've got it on. But they really, with the Creon Warriors, they kind of go all out with the accessories on these guys. It's pretty neat. As a challenger brand to LEGO, there's a need to bring something new to the table because LEGO is such a juggernaut. So it's good that they're bringing in, if you're going to be a challenger brand to LEGO, the thing you're going to have to do is bring a lot to the table in terms of variety of stuff, and getting a cool license like Dungeons & Dragons is a good move. Alright, so I got his cloak on. It kind of works. It's a little bit flared out, but it kind of gets the job done, I guess. You know, I'm assuming I put it on correctly, and so it seems to be, like I said, it seems to work well enough. I'm not in love with it. I wish it would hang a little bit more, but it's made out of like a stiff paper-like material. A little bit stronger than paper. It's definitely a fabric, but a cheap fabric. You get this KRE-O block. Not really that necessary. One thing that's cool about the Creon Warriors is they always have them. They have them with these stands, which are great. You really do need them if you want them to stand up stable for battle scenes and for playing this game. You really do need the stands. I'm just not doing a very good job of putting them into it, but trust me, it works. So, bada bing, bada boom. There he is. And we'll put his swords in his hands, and I'll do a quick adjustment of the focus to make sure you can see the end result. Nice. Yeah, I mean, it's a good figure. If you're into this kind of thing, now I'm personally a painted miniatures guy. I like to paint miniatures. But at the same time, if this kind of thing, the Lego KRE-O type of thing is something you like, I think you're really going to dig these. They're nice, you know, they have about as much articulation as you can expect in a figure like this. And, you know, they look pretty cool. Well done. All right, and they're relatively cheap. So that's also a nice thing. So we've got these Creon packs, and I'm going to tell you, let's look on the back. Now, the pictures on the back of these aren't very good, but you have a basic general idea of what's going on. So what I would really like to pull, I would like to not pull this guy with a spear and flag because I already have a guy like that. Other than that, I'm probably okay with almost anything here, though I'm kind of really liking that tiefling down there in the bottom right-hand quarter. The orc with the wolf, the druid type beastmaster guy, and I think that's supposed to be a dwarf up there with a staff, like a dwarf priest. So I'd like any of those. Those would be my favorites, but who knows? You know, it's a blind bag. We'll see what we get. Tearing now. I'll try not to look at the card because I don't want to give it away. I don't want to know yet. And they actually have the card wrapped up in here, so that's good. So here we go. You're seeing it when I'm seeing it. If it wants to come out of the package. Or is it in a bag? Okay, it's in a bag too. There we go. All right, so it looks like we got some kind of orc. I'll have to see what it is. It's got a gray KRE-O block. Is this guy a drummer? Let's look at the card. He is. Oh, he's cool. Look at that. Neat. He's got a little drum. Very cool. Orc war drummer. Neat. Like that. All right. So let's see what not one of my top choices, but not bad. Let me pull the next one. Now I would like definitely not to get a second orc war drummer, but other than that, it's all gravy. And then I'll jump cut and put these together, and we'll look at them when they're fully assembled, which is something I probably should have done with the Drizzt, but that's all right. Okay, let's see. It looks like another orc. And this is the Orc Axeman. It's okay. Yeah. He's an orc. He's got axes. Yay. Alright, I'm going to quick jump cut. Okay, so here's everything built. And I have a few things. Number one, I went back and looked at the directions, which is something I should have done in the first place, but, you know, I built him live, so to speak. Not really live, obviously, but I built him while we were recording. And so I didn't realize I had done the cape. The two armholes are not for his arms. They all go to his head, and once you do that, it looks awesome. So there you go. Follow those directions. And he turned out really well. Great. Here's this little bit of scenery I put together, and it's fine. It does the job. It's a little extra bit of scenery. It's not really why you get the figure. You get the figure so you can have Dizzt Do'Urden. Facing off against him is this Orc Axer. And these guys are a little more disappointing. Don't get me wrong, they look awesome. And I'm definitely willing to buy more sets of more of these blind bags. I just don't want to get these figures again. But his hand, I needed to squeeze his hand together just to get him to hold the axe and to hold it right. And it continues to slip down. It doesn't happen with the other axe though, so I just this bit might just be a little bit too thin for his big axe or whatever. And he could, of course, also be, since he is dual wielding, he could dual Drizzt, though I'd imagine that would be a very short duel. And I'm wondering, since this kind of works like crossbows and catapults, you're knocking things over with catapult balls and crossbow bits and all that other stuff. I wonder if these hero types that are like, this is like whatever, have the same thing, their base is a bit wider, and I wonder if that's a mechanic of the game. Because the orc bases are really small, it'd be easier to knock these guys over. Lastly, the drummer, which I was really kind of most excited about when I got him, and he does look awesome. There's one thing that should be noted, though. This string is a pain. This really, in terms of design, was a poor design choice. It took me forever to get that little string knotted. I actually had to go into my miniatures box and get a pair of tweezers to make sure I got it through, because pretty much the second I would knot one side, the other side would come out, and it would just be totally irritating. And now I'm like, well, for a kid playing with this, it would really drive me crazy to have to keep retying that, because it also isn't very, even when it's knotted, it's not really going to stay together too well. Though it looks cool, there are definitely some design flaws. Overall, though, I dig these figures. They're cool. It's great to have a Lego-esque type of figure for D&D. So there you go. Take it for what it is. Thank you for watching this unboxing. For more news, reviews, and hobby tips, make sure you check out playunplugged.com, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, that way you'll get all of our cool updates, and we'll see you next time.